Oh, hello again. So this is episode 2 of the series of Who Am I? This is the sort of self-reflection on where I've come from, having made a full-time career change from being an academic last year to now being a full-time photographer. This time I'm thinking about where I've come from and where I'm going. That's the sort of theme of this week. Came from the University of Kent, where I taught political philosophy. Some things that I really liked about that job. Number one was teaching students. I've always thought of teaching as a process of sort of working with people on a significant problem, and that's always the approach that I took to teaching. I hated didactic teaching, but I would try and frame a problem and then present a couple of different approaches to solving that and explaining the strengths and weaknesses of those. It's actually an approach that I take to photography as well. So I enjoyed teaching students, but university is far more than just teaching students, even if that's all the press that it gets at the moment. I really liked research. So my PhD and my research is on a very sort of niche form of metaphysics and its impact on political thought. And I really enjoyed like sort of philosophical questions. For example, how do you know that the sun will rise in the east every morning? And the Scottish philosopher David Hume said, you don't. You don't know that anything's going to happen in the future. The only sort of grounds for believing that is because it always has done, and you've got no reason to believe that it won't in the future. And I remember learning about that the first time and going, my God, that's right? How does that impact on how we live our lives and politics? So I really liked the research. And the last thing I really liked was the sort of serious, collegiate, meaningful work that goes on in universities towards the public good. Even if my sort of niche metaphysics wouldn't have direct impact, it nevertheless fed into other debates that would. And universities sort of contribute towards either holding power to account or genuinely novel thought in whatever sort of remit that is. Things I didn't like, reasons why I did move away from the university. I didn't like the lack of pay. So people at the university have seen a 25% decrease in pay in the last 10 years in real terms. So that's like working, 3 months of the year for free. And it just becomes hard to live, even on like, okay academic pay. At the bottom end, it was difficult. There were institutional and sectoral limits to progression. So I can't say much about the university that I used to work at, even though I have quite a lot to say about it. But right across the sector, casual contracts make up the vast majority of work. And this means that because you're always applying for other jobs, and learning stuff to then teach students straight away. You don't really have time for research, but that research is a necessity for career and professional development. So the last job I applied for was at Leeds, and I didn't get it, and I asked for feedback, and it was because I was up for 66 applicants, and that job application was 6,000 words long. My master's thesis wasn't much longer than that, so it's a bit ridiculous. So that's one, reason why I moved over as well. So what I'm looking forward to in photography is really moving away from that kind of stifling effect that I found in higher education. I'm really looking forward to my success being self-directed with no institutional limitations. I'm looking forward to working with a bunch of people on really interesting problems, on their images, right? And I really get a kick out of that. I'm quite scared about my success being self-directed with no institutional supports, I guess. It's all down to me, the amount of money that I make being down to me, and that's it, and not having a salary. And that's quite scary. So that's a little bit about, where I come from and what I'm looking forward to moving forward. I'd be really interested in hearing from other people who are self-employed, what they're finding out about it, what they have found, maybe other people who are wondering if they want to become self-employed, and what their thoughts are. I'd love to know your thoughts.